This is now with Joe Siracusa. He's a professor of security and diplomacy at Curtin University, and he joins us now from Melbourne, Australia. Good to have you back with us, Professor. Donald Trump is right in saying that a raid of this nature hasn't happened to a US president, past or present. But what about the charge that it's politically motivated? Do you think there's any truth to that?
Well, pleasure to be here. Yeah, I suppose he could say that, and it is unprecedented. I'm a presidential scholar. I've written 20 books using the archival material, the classified material, which was declassified by the National Archives. And so I know what they're looking for. Now, we don't know what was in that search warrant, okay? The FBI hasn't disclosed it. We could surmise it has something to do with the January 6th hearings. We could surmise it has to do with things that are not returned. Though keep in mind, Henry Kissinger took his papers home. Vice President Nixon took his papers home. We don't know. What we do know is this: is that an attorney general or an assistant from the FBI went to a judge, swore under oath that a crime has been committed, and a probable crime, and that the evidence for that crime is in President Trump's home. And that's what the judge signed off on, okay? We don't know. The public there's been no disclosure about what they're looking for. What we do know is that the FBI says there was a crime and that there's evidence of that crime. How do we know? Well, probably an informant, maybe a gardener or somebody tipped off the FBI. Now, could the FBI have subpoenaed President Trump? They didn't have to raid his home first. Now, and let me tell you the backlash here. This has galvanized the Republican Party. It's galvanized independents in the United States. It's galvanized people who believe in the Fourth Amendment, that that's the unlawful search and seizure of Americans' homes. Americans believe their home is their castle, and you better have a very good reason for coming through the door. Now, 30 FBI agents showed up, and they stayed 9.5 hours looking for something. Now, the gentleman in Washington says they may be looking for 15 boxes, or they may be looking for things that were not returned in the 15 boxes. In fact, they're not real sure what they're looking for because they don't know what they're not looking for. But this sort of cancels or negates recent legislation by the Biden administration, the anti-inflation law, because this is going to cancel out all the goodwill that Biden has. This is going to turn out every Republican and independent in the United States who takes a very dim view of the cops at the door, looking for things that we're not real sure about.
We're running out of time, but can I ask you before we let you go? This, of course, is coming ahead of amid speculation, rather, that US President Donald Trump is going to have a third shot at the US presidency for the 2024 elections. Do you think this in any way will affect his chances, either positively or negatively?
Well, if he's found guilty of a crime that Congress finds is a crime, he'll be disqualified. Can he be disqualified of holding this stuff back? I mean, if he's prosecuted by the FBI, it might go to the Supreme Court or something like that. At the very least, we would be having a trial in the United States while the election is going on, which would be quite unusual. I mean, this is extraordinary development. I think you got to have a pretty good reason to go into the home of any person in the United States, particularly the 45th president of the United States. I'm telling you, if the Biden White House and the Biden office of the Attorney General was looking for a fight, they got one this time.
Okay, Professor Joe Siracusa, really good to get your analysis as always. Thank you again for joining us.
Okay, thank you.